I got a lot of comments about my sideburns, so today they are hidden. Hello everyone, my name is Cameron, and Forza Horizon 4 is one of my favorite games of this generation. It's a bit crazy because I didn't think Horizon 4 was actually going to be that good. I thought Horizon 3 was boring, repetitive, stale, and then when I heard the UK, I thought of London for some reason. I thought they were going to do London, and they turned out they actually nailed it. The live service, the constant live service they've had in the game, the new modes they've added, the expansions, it's all been fantastic. So I'm sure whatever they do for the next game, I'm going to enjoy it, but there's a few things that I'd like to see in Horizon 5 to really make it special. This video is going to be comprised of a few different sections: locations, game modes, seasons 2.0, the festival, map, Forzalife, aka houses 2.0, cars and customization, and then finally miscellaneous issues. Timestamps are in the description, but I would encourage you to watch all of it because there's quite a lot of overlapping topics, so you might miss something. Anyway, let's do this. So location, I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I've talked about this in previous videos, but anywhere in East Asia, specifically Japan, it's the mecca of car culture, yada yada yada. I've explained this so many times. It's got everything in the map. It's got the elevation, it's got the highway, it's got the tuner culture, the supercar culture. Absolutely everything is in Japan. The rally seed, everything you ever would want from a car person is in Japan. They love their cars, they're car crazy. That's all I have to really say about that. And also neon lights. If not Japan, I wouldn't mind going back to the USA, but you know, I think we're overdue a game in Japan from the Forza series. It would be really cool to see. So we're going to move swiftly off location into game modes. We're going to try to quickly go through these because we could be here for a while. Drift and drag mode revamps. At the moment, they don't really feel like they are their own modes necessarily. Drift mode feels like it's the drift bucket list, but just tacked onto multiplayer. And drag mode just feels like any other normal race mode with a checkpoint here and a checkpoint here, except you're in the drag area of the map. Drift mode, you've already got a really good one in Motorsport. Now, I wouldn't want it to be specifically all the way like Motorsport because it's very unforgiving, but an arcade version of that would be really cool. One that does take into account angle and speed, etc., for your points, and it's not just what it is now. That would be really cool. And likewise, a drag mode revamp, something similar to kind of like the Crew in Need for Speed, where maybe you have to do a burnout before you go into an event to warm up your tires, and you have to shift at the right time, and just something that isn't what it is now, because it just doesn't feel, it just feels like more like a chore than anything else to go into drag mode in Forza Horizon at the moment. More traditional race types. If you go into Horizon at the moment and you just want to race, you only have circuit races and sprint races. So this is my suggestion. Lap knockout. I don't know why it's not in more nowadays. It's a completely new way of experiencing the circuit races that are already in the game. If the game is set in Japan, I'd love to see toge battles in the game. Similar to the initial D games we've been playing on the channel recently, I'd like to see it be distance based. So if you get ahead of your opponent by 100 meters, you then get the victory. You can even have an element where one person leads and then another person follows, and you have 2 rounds. Street races with actual shortcuts. I don't see any reason why they couldn't add shortcuts into the street race events. That would be really cool, and it would actually make them feel unique. At the moment, street races just feel like the festival events that you can't do a Horizon blueprint for. One make races. It is a little bit Motorsport-esque, and I can understand why people are like, it's a Motorsport, but I just don't see any reason why we can't have that now. We do have Horizon blueprints, and I think that could be overhauled, to be honest. A lot of people I was asking before the start of this video were saying that they would like it if you unlocked the Horizon blueprint mode after you've actually finished an event once in a forced class restriction. It would add a lot of replayability, to be fair, and I completely agree. Rally 2.0. More of a homage to the original Rally expansion from Forza Horizon 1. If you didn't play that expansion, Bomberclart, you missed out, man. It was a mad expansion. You had your co-driver, like, spitting out, like, race notes as you would drive in. It was a completely different experience to what we have now, and I'd love to see something like that return in the next game. Track days, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because that kind of goes into a bigger section of this video. Let's move on to the next section, Seasons 2.0. Seasons was done really well in my opinion in the last game, so I don't think you'd really need to change much. Less repetitive events. I'm sick of seeing the same showcase remix over and over again, and the same recycled bucket list stories that are added in seasons. You can repackage it as new content, but it's not new content, it's recycled content. So I'd like to see, you know, just stuff that isn't as repetitive. I think a lot of this comes into the game modes section that we just talked about. So by adding a lot of these different modes, you are going to reduce tedium because you're not doing the same thing over and over again as much. But recycled showcases are definitely one that I don't really want to be doing. Like, showcases are very much a one-time thing for me. I do it once, never do it again. So maybe even taking away from that a little bit. No more limited time events, please. How Call of Duty does it is if you miss the gun that is available during that season on the battle pass, it goes into a challenges mode where you have to do certain challenges to get it. Granted, it is a bit grindy, but you can see directly how to get what you want. I don't want to see limited time. I'm so fed up with it. Like, if people want a car, they should be able to get that car. I understand you're trying to reward people that are playing at a certain time, and I've got a workaround for that because I believe in that too. I just think certain cars that are added during live service should be available to everyone if and when they want to get it. For those people that want to be rewarded with sustained play, I'm going to offer track days. And this will also link to what I have to say about the map a little bit later. Track days are kind of like a summit-like mode, if anyone here plays the Crew 2, where globally people compete for a medal, either, you know, bronze, silver, gold, or platinum, with the best players receiving rewards. Maybe Forza Edition cars that actually feel special, unlike Forza Horizon 4, where they're just given around willy-nilly. I think there's a lot of potential in Forza Edition cars that just isn't like seen at the moment. I remember there was one week when they were first introduced in Horizon 3 where they were really, really rare and they made them feel special, but you just don't get that anymore. All I'm saying is if the game was in Japan, you could easily have a licensed or non-licensed track in the game. Whether that's Suzuka or Ibizu, that's completely up to you. Gone of the days of Horizon 1 when the festival was an absolute vibe. You could play Horizon 4 and not even know it's a festival, which is a bit mad. So I think the festival needs a bit of a revamp. It needs a bit of a reboot. It needs to make it, this game needs to feel like it is a Horizon festival again. Now, whether that means getting real life personalities on the radio, whether that means adding tracks via live service, Microsoft have a very good relationship with Hospital Records. Shout out to the gang. They're always, you know, releasing music almost on a weekly basis. So they could very easily add music to the radio in-game. And maybe that is the way forward for racing game soundtracks. Likewise, Spotify integration could also be quite good. The music that's played at the festivals should actually, like, reflect current festival culture. There's just so many artists that I don't feel are relevant in the current game. And for a game that is literally a music festival with cars, they should be. But it just needs to be updated because right now Horizon feels quite outdated, with the exception of the Hospital Record soundtrack. Finally, more character customization. Why can't I actually change the color of my character's skin or my actual eyes and my nose and stuff? You've gone to all this effort to add, you know, the shoes and the clothes, but I can't make the character actually look like me. That's something that needs to be looked at because at the moment it's not fantastic. Right, the map. So this is a big one. So I think the map should be dynamic. In Horizon 4, the puddles all show up in the same places. In winter, the ice will cover over the same places. I want that to be completely different every single time I play. Seasons is like 4 different ways of playing the game, but if the world was actually organic and real, that would be different every single time I play. So I would like to see the map would be a little bit more dynamic in the weather and the way that puddles are formed in the map, etc. Because at the moment it feels like you're living the same, you know, 4 weeks on loop. Real life circuits and rally stages. Oh my days. Don't tell me the idea of that doesn't gas you up. And anyone who's coming from motorsport saying, oh, that's motorsport, leave me alone. Shut up, you didn't play the Crew 1. They literally had Laguna Seca in the game. And I remember doing races in PvP on Laguna Seca. That was so sick. Like I said, there's ways that you can do this. You can either have licensed tracks like Scuba, or you could have non-licensed tracks like Ibizu. The Wangan C1 loop is not an official racetrack, but you know, it's things like that would be really cool to see in a game. Furthermore, if it was Japan, they could have Fujimi. Mic drop the ting, bro. All I'm saying is, if that doesn't gas you up as a Forza fan, then I don't know what. Fujimi in a Horizon map? Could you imagine? For me, on a more personal level, I think as long as there's twisties, elevation, more of what we've seen in Horizon 4, I'm going to be quite happy. I got quite bored of Horizon 2 and 3's quite flat maps. I quite like elevated maps with a lot of twisties. If there's maybe a highway loop, that would be pretty cool. Multi-story car parks would also be a pretty cool thing to see. Forzalife, aka Houses 2.0. So they added houses into Horizon 4, but you couldn't really walk around your house. You couldn't sort out your garage. You couldn't go into your garage. There's so much missed potential with houses in Forza Horizon 4. And it can go so much further than just houses. Imagine being able to walk around your garage like in PGR or TDU, and you can arrange your garage space. Imagine if you could decorate your garage. Imagine for any cars that were added via live service, they went into a dealership which you could walk in and have a browse around and see before you buy it or try to earn it. Imagine having a walkable area in the festival where you can actually explore the Horizon Festival. Maybe that's where you go to get your Forzathon rewards from. Car meets. Imagine being able to go into a car meet, you know, go and sit in other people's cars, have a look at what they've tuned. I don't see any reason why Forzalife can't come into the next game, especially with the power of the next generation. I don't get why they didn't do it in this game. I honestly thought with houses in Horizon 4, it was going to be one of those things where you could, you know, move your cars around in your garage like TDU. It seems like a really lazy thing to do at the moment of the way they've done it. Give me proper houses, walkable areas, car meets where I can walk around. This needs to happen. It's overdue. It's something that we've been asking for ages. Please let us see it. I don't think, you know, Forza needs to go that deep into the customization area. I think it does a lot of things fantastic already. A few areas to look at though is Forza Aero is definitely one of them. Yeah, the same few spoilers on every single car. It's not cutting it anymore. Import Tuner Challenge allows you to pick from certain wings and bases of different spoilers. Having something like that would be pretty cool, where you can pick how far you want it to be extended out of 4 options, where you can pick what wings you want to have on your spoiler, when you can pick. That would add a lot. I think that would just completely change the game for Forza Aero. I think a lot of people would use more Forza Aero if that was a thing. Licensed body kits for cars. In Motorsport 2, they had Vilside in the game. They had the Vilside Supras, and they had Abflug, and they had Mugen, and all these types of cars. They're non-existent now in Forza, which is really weird. Where have all these cars gone? Look at all these cars. Where have they all gone? We want to see them back, especially in Horizon. A smaller car list that's more dialed in. There's so much fluff in Forza car list. I'd like to see if maybe they did actually, you know, get rid of cars but dialed in the actual car list. Interior customization. With some of the cars that are added in Forza recently, they've been adding things like different wheels and different, you know, gauges and stuff of the same variants of cars that are existing in the game. That would be really cool for the car meets as well, if car interiors were customized as well, because then you could walk around people's interiors and stuff. Yeah, I want to see that happen. Race cars, I don't know where they went. They were in Horizon 3, so well, at least some were in Horizon 3. They're not in Horizon 4. The return of race cars, that needs to happen. I don't know why they're not there in the first place, because they're in Motorsport and they're not in. Weird. That needs to happen. More regular cars, a normal Fiesta, not an ST, just a normal Fiesta, a normal Corsa. Like, more cars that we can soup up from the ground up. Let me do an ST conversion to a normal Fiesta. That would be sick. Blinker options like TDU, and like options to bring down the windows and all that kind of stuff, and maybe even open boot of the cars while you're parked up on the side. I don't see any reason why that couldn't be a thing either, because you've already got the explode thing in Forza Vista, so it's obviously capable of doing so. Give me an option to do that on the fly. That would be sick. Finally, miscellaneous issues. Quick group selling of cars. At the moment, you can't do that. You have to go individually. It takes forever. Seeing what cars look like before you add tunes. Sometimes you'll add tunes and they'll have like donk rims on. For people that don't want to make their own tunes, let them see what the car looks like before you make them apply someone else's. Better PC optimization. I've had so many issues with Horizon 4, whether it's trying to stream it on OBS and Twitch, it's support there is awful. Whether I'm trying to get friends into online sessions, I've had huge issues with that, and I've even lost my save. That can't happen again in the future. It's not just me. A lot of people, I think it's an Xbox-based issue, but cloud sync save errors are a huge thing, not only on PC but Xbox as well. These issues need to be ironed out. They're not acceptable for a AAA game. That's literally all I'm asking for. And that is my overview of Forza Horizon 5, the Ultimato wishlist. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. That's been it from me, from your boy. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.